Hey my friends, this is Lance with BestKidSolutions.com, and today we're talking about a topic that was uncomfortable for a lot of people, and I'm talking about middle school. But what's even more difficult than when you were in school was how to keep your middle schooler on top of things. So today, our topic and our video is going to be about how to get a middle schooler organized. Let's do it right now. So as we know, middle school was a pretty tough time for everybody. You're the big dog on campus as a fifth grader. Now you get to middle school and you're a small fish in a big pond, and it's not easy. There's a lot of hormones going on. There's a lot of new experiences happening. And as I said before, you're just the low man on the totem pole. And so there's a lot of different things going on. And one of the things that really is the foundation of being successful in middle school is to stay organized. And the one thing that you have to do as a parent is you have to make sure that you're not scrambling to get your child organized once they get to middle school. It really should be happening as soon as possible. And the best way to keep this movement and this positive flow going is to start early. Start with the organization tips early, as early as you can. Some kids can start a little earlier. Some kids need a little bit more time to mature. But definitely, as soon as your child, it seems like they're able to handle some of these scheduling and some of these organizational type of techniques, I would start right away. And just like with maturity and other different factors, you have to make this individualized for your child. Take some of these organizational strategies to best use. And if they don't work for you, throw them out. If it works best for your child, definitely take them. If it's a situation where they need more time and they're not mature enough, or whatever the situation may be, just start slowly adding them one at a time. Or if they're ready to go and they're super organized already and they have a good foundation, maybe you start hitting these a little bit quicker, and that's definitely going to help your child. One of the first things you're going to want to do is definitely make a schedule. There's going to be 1,000 different things going on in middle school that may not have happened in elementary school. And there's going to be a lot more homework and a lot more assignments, a lot more projects, and a lot of other things outside of school as well that you're going to need to deal with. So making a schedule ahead of time is an amazing thing. Put a calendar on the refrigerator or in their room if that's what's best helps them. Or maybe if their technology is on point and they're maybe a little older, or you feel comfortable with them having a phone or some other device, a tablet, you can put something like Google Calendar on their phone or on their tablet to allow them to see all the different things that they have. They should have a weekly schedule of what's happening during the day, and also a daily schedule. This will allow them, once they get into the habit of seeing what they have throughout the whole week, what they have going on throughout the day, and they can see that on a calendar, in their home, or they see that on a device, then they can feel comfortable. And the one thing that we forget about this is that organization is also something that helps make them feel safe and secure as well. When they're comfortable with what's going on with themselves and what's going on with around them, then it really does help them get in tune with what needs to happen. And also, if your child is ready for a device or a tablet, then you can set reminders for them. That's been a big deal for me. Having those little reminders all the time really does make a big difference, so that in the morning they can have a list of reminders or some reminders that allows them and reminds them, of course, what they're doing throughout the day. The second thing that you should do is definitely organize their schoolwork. Now, the number one thing that happens in middle school is there's a lot of assignments and a lot of projects. And the first thing that you want to do is make sure that there's somewhere in a notebook or some other organized platform where they can record their assignments when they're assigned, and then also record when their assignments are due. And this way they have the ability to understand, okay, this is something that is going to be due, this is assigned, and then how long do I have to do it? And then this also allows the parent to see the same thing, when it was assigned and when it's due. And that could be in a notebook or in a folder or on their phone, somewhere where they can see when it was assigned and when it's due, and that'll make schoolwork 1,000% more organized. Another great way to organize their schoolwork is to make sure that they have folders and binders and everything has its place. When you're able to put your math stuff in the math folder and the science stuff in the science folder, etc., it really does make a big difference. And when they get into a habit of every paper and everything has its place, it's going to make organization so much easier. And so they know when they need to pull out their science homework, it's in the science folder. This is something that seems super simple, but is a little bit front loaded. You have to get the binder ready. You got to get the folders ready. They're all in one spot. So it always stays in their book bag. But once it's ready to go and it's automated and they're able to put their stuff where it's supposed to be and they always know that it's going to be there so they can pull it out for their teacher, that's a game changer. Another thing that's going to be a big help in this particular category is going to be organizing their locker. I know it's tough. A lot of parents don't get to see their child's locker, but if you help them get that organized and so that there's places for everything, as we said before, and once their locker is organized, then it'll be much easier for them to be able to pull out their science stuff, or they'll be able to pull out that binder and all the rest. That some people, they don't use their locker that much. Maybe most of it's in their book bag because they transition too much. But there's nothing worse than having 15 things on top of, in the locker, and you're trying to slide everything out when everything falls out. So if you're able to help them organize their locker, that's going to also make a big difference. Another crucial one, and this almost could be the number one, is to help organize their homework schedule. This is something that they may not be used to. In elementary school, they're going to have a lot of homework, and they're not just going to have math and science homework. They may have a whole slew of different academics that they're going to be doing, extra classes, or maybe they're AP classes, and they just got a lot of stuff going on. And so getting into an amazing study habit is going to be crucial to helping your middle schooler. And this is even in elementary school. As they get older in elementary, this is a great way to kind of let them flow into middle school with the proper homework schedule. Now, this is going to once again be differentiated by your child and your schedule. There's some kids that can come home right away and get their stuff situated and then be able to play the rest of the time. And there's other friends who have stuff to do right afterwards. Maybe they have sports or something that happens, but you just have to get into a schedule that works for you so that the child doesn't even have to think about it. They know that when A happens, then B happens, then C, and it gets in a flow. And when they have this routine down, then it makes the parent's life a lot easier because then they just do it automatically. When it starts to get automated, because you've set an amazing routine, then that is something that is going to be crucial and just so much easier for the parent. So maybe it works out for you where they come home and have a snack, and then they get their homework done, and then they handle their chores, and then they go play. Or maybe they have to, they go to sports first, then they have to do their homework. Whatever the case may be, just set it up so that you have something automated that they are practicing and getting in a routine for, so that when it starts to flow, it just keeps on going. And that's when you know things are getting good. Another good habit to get into when you're dealing with homework is to double check with the teacher once a month and just kind of get an idea of what's happening, what's going on. Keep up on the newsletters or the communication that the teachers are giving, because that really does make a big difference when it comes to homework and what's coming up for the nearest test and what's going on with this next assignment. This really is going to be very helpful for you when you do that. And plus, what it also does subconsciously is it shows your child that you hold education as a priority. When you're taking the time to double check and communicate with the teacher, it also shows your child this is something that's important to you. And when it's important to you, it will then be modeled to your child that it's important, and they will take it more seriously. So this has a double whammy effect of you being able to communicate with the teacher and keep on track of the different homework and the assignments. And it also will help with modeling that education is important, and this is something to work hard on. And the last one is a super simple one, but a lot of times we forget about this, is that you must positively reward them. When they're doing well, when the flow is there and the consistency and the automation is there with their routines and they're getting their organization down, reward them. Show them that this is something that we want to continue. Because what happens is, and I've said it 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it 1,001th because it is that important, is that when a child is going through a new process, number one, they like what they're good at. And number two is that everything starts extrinsically. Extrinsically, the outer rewards must occur first for most kids, not all of them, but for most kids, rewarding them with something that they enjoy, whether it be praise or congratulations, whether it be a little treat or an event or something that, special dinner or something that's going to show them that they've been working hard and that they are doing the right thing. And that is extrinsic rewards. And eventually, once they get into this habit, then it starts turning intrinsic. And then now they're that type of student. Then they're the type of person that is organized. And once you start getting your child intrinsically thinking, you know what? Man, I really am organized. Look at all my folders and look at all my schedules and look at my reminders. Man, I'm really organized. That's where the success happens, when it turns intrinsic. But it starts out with the hard work of getting all of these things situated and organized as a parent to then help your middle schooler do the same. So reward them. And at the same time, if they're not following the plan, if they're not, they're not keeping their end of the bargain, then there also has to be consequences as well. And they have to realize that this is serious. And this is something that's going to make their life a lot easier if they get organized. My friends, I hope that's super helpful. I know as a middle schooler, this is not easy because they want to be doing other things and they want to be, the Mr. Popular and the Mrs. Popular, but they also want to be the Mr. and Mrs. Athletic, and they also want to be in the drama club and the glee club, and they want to be, the scholar and the athlete, everything all together, and it takes a lot of organization. And so I hope these tips are helpful. And if you are someone who believes the same as we do, if you think that kids, parents, and teachers are absolutely the most important people on this planet, subscribe, like, share, do all these things that will help this information get spread to as many people as possible, because we really do believe that kids, parents, and teachers are what is going to change this world and society for the better. And the better taken care of they are, the better we all are. So if you feel the same way, help spread this information, like and subscribe, and get this information out to as many people as we can so that we can just make everything much better. And that includes your middle schooler's life as well. So my friends, we'll see you in the next video.